Hello and welcome to this episode of RPGGamer Top 5s. And as part of our series on the top RPGs on each system, today we're going to be doing the top 5 RPGs on the Nintendo 64. The Nintendo 64, usually just called the N64, while an extremely capable console for the time, was seen as the first crack in Nintendo's grasp on the console market. After the NES and SNES were both massive successes, the N64 sales were still a long way from a failure, but amounted to owning 32 million worldwide. The main failure of the N64 was seen to be its reliance on cartridges, as the market moved away onto optical media such as CDs, which were cheaper to produce, stored more, and allowed multitask games with streaming video and audio. This reliance caused the loss to Nintendo of one of the largest names in JRPGs, Square. Perhaps the most famous of their games, Final Fantasy VII, actually started as an N64 game, but the massive amounts of data forced Square to move over to the PlayStation, with the game was the second highest selling game on that platform. This limitation affected the number of RPGs on the system, so I'm going to once again be stretching the definition. And with that, let's go on with the countdown. And at number 5, The Aiden Chronicles: The First Mage, by THQ in 2001. Although flawed in many ways, Aiden Chronicles had a detailed and involving plot and lots of great ideas, even if many of them were hidden by the slow pace and poor combat. Aiden Chronicles only really makes this list because of the lack of RPGs on the N64. But, for all of the criticisms, if you've got time to spend, there's a lot to get out of this game, where you play as Alaron, a young squire who becomes a mage and eventually king. But Aiden Chronicles is definitely not for anyone short on patience. And at number 4, Body Harvest by DMA Design in 1998. A game from the company that went on to make the Grand Theft Auto series of games, guided by the creator of the Zelda games himself, Shigeru Miyamoto, has the pedigree to be an absolute classic, but this game is all over the place, about a time-travelling soldier trying to stop an alien race harvesting humanity across 5 different time periods. In many ways a prototype for the 3D versions of GTA, the player can use vehicles and enter various buildings, but having the RPG elements crowbarred into its design and then mainly removed again leaves this an unsatisfying, if intriguing, game. And number 3, Hybrid Heaven by Konami in 1999. The name of this game pretty much describes the game itself as well as the plot, as although you play as a genetic hybrid exploring a massive facility under New York, the game plays as a normal action-adventure. However, when entering combat it becomes a beat-em-up with RPG elements. With most of the game set in the same grey corridors of the underground complex, the setting isn't the most compelling, but the game is more about discovering what's going on than its setting. While Hybrid Heaven isn't a fantastic game, it's definitely worth trying out as it's got some great ideas in there. But it definitely wasn't worth the hype it received as one of the few RPGs on the N64. At number 2, Paper Mario by Nintendo in 2001. While not being famed for producing RPGs, Nintendo definitely scored a success here. Playing as Mario, you must do all the normal Mario things, saving Princess Peach from Bowser, but in a very approachable RPG format. Paper Mario was seen very much as an introductory game to the genre. Visually, it's extremely attractive and interesting, as all the characters are two-dimensional, like pieces of paper, but with a three-dimensional environment. But while the game received attention for its ease of play, graphics and music, it was criticised for many puzzles being brain-dead easy, and much of the game being a little generic. As should be evident from the quality of the list so far, we're so short on RPGs that we're having to totally skip the notable mentions this time. But this release shouldn't reflect too badly on the N64, as there were loads of great games for it: GoldenEye, Mario 64, Pilot Wings, Rave Race. Just so much fun, but so few RPGs. And so, with that, onto our number 1. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time by Nintendo in 1998. Well, it kinda had to be, didn't it? Ocarina of Time is hailed by many as one of the best games of all time, and I cannot dispute that. With only a few flaws, the game was stunning from beginning to end, and surprisingly emotional. From the first time you enter Hyrule Field and see it stretching out ahead of you, to the dramatic drawing of the Master Sword and the opening of the 2 time zones with adult and child Link to play as, the game amazes. While some puzzles are annoying, the openness of the world allowed you to avoid certain areas and come back to them later if you were having trouble, never being stuck repeating the same levels over and over again with no choice. Even the use of music in the ocarina, which could have been such an annoying addition to the game, is interesting and doesn't intrude badly into play, allowing control of the game world in quite an innovative way. And even though "Hey, listen!" has become a bit of a meme these days, I didn't find Navi annoying at all. It was an amazing way of drawing player attention to places and allowing targeting in a new way. The ending of the Ocarina of Time is absolutely stunning in scope, bringing all of the characters back to witness the events to some of the most amazing composed music on the platform. And although Link has his childhood returned as the horrors of Ganondorf's reign are reversed, I personally couldn't help but feel somewhat sad as his accomplishments are wiped from history and his reduced childhood abandoned by Navi. But the game ends with Link and Zelda meeting for the first time again, and that brings a wistful smile to my face. And that's it for the N64. What did you think? Any ones we missed? Any favourites you'd like to suggest? Did we stretch the category too much to compensate for the lack of RPGs on the N64? Please let us know, either in the comments or by getting in touch with us through the website. So, as always, many thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what we're doing. But most of all, you look after yourselves, and we'll catch you later. Bye.